question. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we have our blue Terran player representing Twisted Minds. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming, considered by everyone to be the best player, the best European player in all of Europe. It is Poland. European Protoss is what I should have said. I said European player. Poland? Oh no. Not like this. All the P's, they're coming together. Art, what have you done to me? The European Protoss is what I was meant to get out. And yeah, here we go. MaxPax, he's looking to make a deep run here. And can anyone stand in his path? Can anyone slow him down? Upsets, they have happened before. They have happened in the past. Can they happen again? It's going to be an uphill battle. An uphill battle here from Nicoract. Can he pull it off? For now, we are getting into our Rax Expand. A single gas opener. Oh! So do have a bit of a pause coming in. Hopefully nothing too major, but it looks like we may have some hotkey issues. Maybe a little bit of latency. You know, maybe Uber Eats is knocking on the door and we got to get our food. I would like some food. Food would be nice. It would be nice. Yeah, of course, just making sure everything is now good. As it looks like it was just a hotkey issue, and we are going to be loading back into the game. As we were getting into this, Nicoract is going for an economic opener here, and we can talk about a little bit about Nicoract as well. He is typically more of an aggressive player in this matchup. When I look at Nicoract in TVP, I think of like an aggressive 2-base timing kind of player, less so like late game macro instead. So I expect him to be a little bit more aggressive here in this series. But likewise, MaxPax, he doesn't have to take it lying down. You know, he can stand up and he can fight, and he has arguably the best 4-gate blink in the world. His 4-gate blink is terrifying. It's we've seen him take down the best of the best Terrans with it, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see it at some point in this series as well. Of course, it's very map dependent. Some maps are better than others when it comes to how wide open the main base is and how much potential you have to actually pull your opponent apart and go into the main. So we'll keep our eyes out for the tech of choice here from MaxPax. Until then, everything's looking normal. It's a gate expand into a cybercore here from our Protoss player. Likewise, Nicoract going for a rack expand into a factory as well. Everything is looking quite normal, very macro oriented. Reaper is going to be scouting around the edge of the map, just making sure there's no proxy gateway. Proxy gateways, I don't want to say they're common, but they do occur here in this matchup just to apply pressure, just to punish an economic opener from the Terran. We've seen it before, and we are not seeing it here this time from MaxPax. Reaper does avoid the Adept. It is going to be a Twilight Council opener. This should be for Blink. And the question becomes, how many gateways as the Adept arrives? And we are going to be delaying construction of the CC for quite some time. So what should have been an economic opener out of Nicoract is being delayed here by this Adept. We're waiting a little bit longer for the Hellions to rock up. Second Adept is about to show up as well. The Reaper makes it back home. But again, a big delay as the Adepts do turn their attention towards the building CC. And they do take down the SCV. So a bit of a rough start here for Nicoract. He is vying for control of the low ground, and he'll get there eventually. He will get there. As additional Hellions have popped out, and oh my god! Nicoract. Okay, never mind. My mind went elsewhere. But he's going for Cloak Banshees. Interesting. Okay, so not a Raven opener that we're used to, but we're going into Cloak Banshees instead. Very aggressive here from Nicoract, and this is kind of what I expected from him. An aggression of some kind here in this TVP. Cloak Banshees is a bit of a cheeky one. We'll see if he can get away with it. But now he does catch a couple of Adepts here in the center of the map. One of them does shade past. Back at home, how many gateways do we have to work with? We have 1 gateway in the main base. We have 2 gateways at the natural. A 3-gate opener here from MaxPax. Now, with 3 gateways, you can vie for map control. You can force back the opposing army as you get some SCV kills across the map. 2 SCVs, soon to be a 3rd. Nicoract once again out of position. But with 3 gateways, again, you just vie for map control and you expand behind it. We should be going for a faster 3rd Nexus here from MaxPax. As he pushes out, the Banshee's pushing in. Cloak on the horizon. And there is very little at home to defend. There is potential. There's a lot of potential here for Nicoract to get out of control with this Banshee as he makes his way towards that natural. Oh, but we warp in defensively back at home. We have 3 Stalkers, but they move out. Oh, they move back in. Tank here in the mineral line. It looks like Nicoract is going to be able to barely hold on. The Banshee does reveal itself. We have a full wall off. The Hellions do not get in. And the Banshee does rotate over towards the main base. And we're getting a lot of damage done here. The Observer is making its way back home towards the main, but 6 probes have gone down. Oh. Just barely 6, and the Banshee does get shut down as well. Good pick off here from MaxPax, as he's still being active across the map, and he's looking for a way into the main. Just waiting for high ground vision, and he does blink into the main base. The tank doesn't cover the main mineral line. Rax is going to be cancelled, and we go straight for the SCVs. SCVs are going down. The Hellions do bust into the mineral line, though. They get into the natural. 14 probes have gone down. 15. MaxPax taking a lot of economic damage, but at the same time, his main army isn't being dealt with. Tank is repositioning. Tank is looking exposed. And we are diving right for it. The tank will fall. The blinks have been good juggling here from MaxPax as well. Trying to avoid this round, preserving these Stalkers. Taking down even more SCVs. In the midst of all this chaos, it looks like MaxPax is getting out of hand. There is an additional tank. Oof. Takes down another Stalker. And as the dust settles, MaxPax, he has a worker lead. Now he's working on that 3rd. And he has control of the natural base. The Stalkers, they bust on in. They dive on top of the tank. We have reinforcing Stalkers coming in from behind as well. And Nicoract, he's being pulled apart left and right. Not like this. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. But things got very chaotic. Things got very chaotic for both players. Very impressed by how much damage Nicoract was able to deal. Unfortunately, he wasn't set up back at home to defend against those Stalkers. He had 1 tank covering the ramp, yes, but he couldn't cover all of his main base, and things, they got out of control. He did get out of control in the end. Congratulations to MaxPax. Well, that wasn't the cleanest win, is what I will say. And there is the opportunity for Nicoract to cause an upset. It isn't, I wouldn't favor him by any means. MaxPax is still coming in as the favorite player. But, yeah, Nicoract gonna have to try to bring something different to the table here. Almost did work, though. I do want to give him credit there. Do want to give him credit. MaxPax just finished 3 games in WTL versus Skilless. Yeah, I did. We are aware, of course, that World Team League was ongoing here, but we're focusing on ESL Masters for the time being. Of course, the most important league and tournament for all these players, and hopefully MaxPax, despite playing all day, is good to go on even further. So we get ready for game number 2. Get ready for that second game. And it looks like game 2 is going to be taking place on Hecate. Yeah, the Cloak Banshees were fun. They were nice from Nicoract, but I'm sure we'll see something different here. I'm sure we have to rely on a very different opener for the rest of this series. Not just game 2, but also potentially game 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the Blue Terran player representing Twisted Minds down in the series, but looking to tie it up. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Oh boy. And yeah, we'll see where this takes us. We did have to wind it all back, we did have an economic opener to begin with for Nicoract. He went for a Rax Expand, But early on, he was being disrupted. MaxPax was all over him with those adepts. Remember, just killing SCVs, delaying the expansion, causing a lot of chaos really early on, and we'll see how Nicoract adapts here. He also went into an abundance of Hellions, less so Marines, so he had less early on to defend. So we'll see what he brings to the table. This is the other thing that I love about ESL, these league formats like ESL Masters in general, is that our players have had a lot of time to prepare. They've had a week or so to get ready for their matches, to prepare for their opponents, and yeah, because of that, that does kind of allow for these upsets to occur. I mean, of course, because of the kind of disparity in these players, I'm sure MaxPax wasn't really thinking too hard about this series, and I'm sure he's just going to play it out as he normally does. On the other side, Nicoract, he's coming in prepared, and we saw that in the last game. We saw that with those Banshees. From here, we're going to be getting into a Rex Expand. Once again, an economic opener out of Nicoract. MaxPax back at home, going for a gate. Cyber into Nexus. Again, I respect that Nicoract, he hasn't been going for any kind of double gas opener yet. Nothing too aggressive from Nicoract, at least in the early game. It's all been above board. And speaking of, we actually have a second Rax on the way. We're going for a 3 Rax. Let's go. Nicoract going for something a little bit more old school. We should be seeing a 3rd Rax thrown down momentarily. This is going to be a strong timing with Stim, with upgrades. Reaper makes its way into the main base, and we're looking for a probe kill. Oh, so far, nicely done there from MaxPax. He gets us around. He barely doesn't. But the Adept comes out just in time, and the Reaper will fall. Did the Reaper scout the tech? That is the big question, and it did. The Twilight Council was spotted 2 games in a row. MaxPax opening up Blink. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have this Adept delaying the expansion, delaying the CC. There is a bunker with a Marine, but we need a little bit more time for additional Marines to pop out. Oh. As now we have 2 Adepts here. The CC up. Can it finish it? Barely will. Barely does finish in time. 1 SCV will fall. But we have the orbital in construction. The Adepts, they see a tech lab, but they don't see too much else. For all they know, it could be another Banshee opener. So very limited information here from MaxPax. Trying to get a read on what's going on. And I was about to, like, as I mentioned the Blink, I diverted my attention to the Adepts and the delayed expansion. It is not Blink. MaxPax is going for a Dark Shrine. I was going to bring this up as a possibility, and it's actually happening. Okay, we have a DT opener here from MaxPax, a very bold move. A very risky maneuver here from our Protoss. Now, the DTs don't have to do damage. They can, of course, eventually be morphed into Archons, and we can go for Archon Drop Harass instead. We can transition out. As MaxPax continues to send in shade after shade, trying to get a read on what is happening. 3rd base is thrown down behind this. Yeah, this Dark Shrine is not all in by any means. It's just an opener designed to get map control, get some damage done, and get into the mid game. There it is. The Prism is moving out. The question becomes, do we have enough energy for a scan? The Marine count has been thinned out because of the Adepts, because of the damage. We are building up Marauders in the main base because of the Twilight Council opener. We do need Marauders to deal with a gateway-based army, and the DTs have arrived. Do we have a scan? Oh, we need more time. We need a little bit more time as SCVs are going down to the main base and in the natural as well. We have turrets on the way, but they're not going to finish in time. The turret, it's going to go down. Where are the scans, Papi? We have 1 scan. But the DT escapes. No shot. The DT waddles away. GG gets called, and MaxPax gets out of hand, gets out of control, and he takes the series 2-0.